Pat, get that cigarette out of here.
It's just a candle I was lighting just to set the mood.
It's just a candle, you fucking idiots.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hey, what's up? Welcome to
Drag the Lake. And
welcome
I'm the host.
to Drag the fucking Lake.
Also,
Eat my
Andy's
pussy. Eat my pussy. Eat my pussy.
This is-
We just had a fun-filled episode of No More Heroes. We just finished recording. You can listen to that on Rumble/C/No More Heroes if you want to watch the video.
We got all our horny stuff out on that one.
Yeah, that one started very horny.
I was actually kind of thrown off about how horny it was. Like you were coming in real hot and hard. I welcome it because as a self-proclaimed pervert and
as a if I may, Pat, horned up freak.
Yeah, as a piece of shit horn dog, I am somebody who enjoys being a little scum pig and talking about all the things that make me happy and sad in the pee-pee. So we're here about music here on Drag the Lake. And guys, if you're ever joining us live, it's usually on Sundays, right? Usually around 1 o'clock or so. We like to jam out on YouTube and talk about musics with you guys. Pounding off in the comments, as well as over at Rumble right before that for No More Heroes. So if you ever want to catch us live, you can do it on Sundays usually, but this is a Saturday. This is a little special for the boys stream. And also I've been trying to attract hot lady fans because I realize I don't have a lot of hot lady fans aside from my wife. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of people that, we've had a lot of support from the gentlemen in the comments and everything like that. But I know ladies like to rock out too. I want to hear from what do you broads think? That's the way to attract the opposite sex, right? Like, what do you broads?
I love how you just keep going if I don't interrupt you. Like, you just go and go and go. You're like, what do you fucking broad think?
Yeah. Hey, it's we're open to what everyone, all sides of the coin. New people.
So funny.
You young kids, we want to tell you why you're wrong. Women,
Oh my God. Dude, my favorite thing about this podcast is being overly critical of hardworking kids in their 20s. It's so fun. Oh, are you out on tour? Well, your last album sucked. What am I doing? Sitting in my apartment, pussy.
Nice interlude, loser.
Oh, did you work real hard on this? I didn't like it.
I didn't like this song, and I didn't like this song.
I'm gonna overanalyze it, you hardworking sack of shit.
It's funny. We just were talking about that on No More Heroes of people coming up afterwards and being like, I didn't like that thing that you did. And
we don't really do that, though, to be perfectly honest.
No, we don't do it to them. We just do it to the people that want to hear it.
Well, it is funny, though, because like I am weary of when we talk about like smaller, we have the best example of with Capra and shit like that, but I've had it happen a bunch of times where you talk about a small band and you're like, they're gonna watch it. Yeah. So there's a part of you that like, all right, I'm gonna give them my all, because they're gonna take the time. It's like, they're gonna watch it, so I'm gonna try my best to give a very accurate, unnecessarily because there's sometimes where people will be like overly critical, and it's like, all right, you're just getting mean now. Yeah. It's like this isn't productive in any way.
Yeah. Once you have a list of things that you disliked about something, you're going to be like, but if it's just hey, we like this thing, but here's a gentle roast of this or something like that. I am a little bit self-conscious. I don't want, because I joked about the broads earlier, but I really don't want it to seem like I feel like, especially when we talk about appearance, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like there is a weird kind of double standard a lot of times of like, we can talk about like how guys look, but if we talk about like a chick being hot or not, or looking some way, it's something we might talk about later about the little T-Swift. Sometimes you don't hear criticisms the way that they should be heard, or critiques the way that they should be heard.
I was gonna bring up that I'm really mad she doesn't have fat tits. That's how I grade females in music. Do you have fat tits?
Yeah, that's
do you get me hard?
Might not be the most progressive way to go, but Andy, honestly, the fact that
Please, the guy who says broads constantly. Tell me how you feel.
Excuse me, I love broads. I think they're great. And I want to hear what they think a lot of times, as well as what they look like. I would like to. It's both. I like the inside and outside of their head.
So, I mean, we have two options.
That's a creepy way to put it. I like the inside and the outside of their head.
Honestly, Pat, I'm gonna call the cops on you. That was crazy.
Dude, I would too. That's a red flag. I just said a red flag. That's a red flag thing.
You call the cops, hey man, I'm talking crazy
I
on
don't
this
know what the
podcast.
fuck did I just say? I just said something about seeing the inside of their head. I don't.
I'm saying insane shit on this podcast. You guys gotta come get me.
Hey, broads, let us know what's on the inside of your head and pound off in the comments. Tell us about whatever chick group you like.
Pound off in the comments if your boyfriend lets you use his laptop.
Yeah, I remember the boyfriend hoodie thing too. I said, look, we've been here. You know, we're a couple of progressive chaps here.
I forgot about that. You're like, do you think that's her boyfriend's hoodie?
I would love to say that was meant to be funny. That was a legitimate thought I had in my head of like, yeah, I think that's like, yeah, my girlfriend Dom stole my NoFX hoodie. She doesn't fucking care about NoFX.
I forgot about that. That was crazy. I'm sure, and I'm not judging you. I'm sure I've had my own. That was so goddamn funny. No, that reminds me of a joke I made one time on Twitter where I was like, I'm in a bad mood. I'm gonna go on female comics Instagram clips and ask, did your boyfriend write this?
It's just knowing the buttons to push. That's all. But I love the broads. You guys are great.
That's why it's good to not have obvious buttons, because then you don't get people can't fuck with you as much.
Yeah, people always go to fat and it's like, you don't think I know I'm fat, stupid? Come on, shut up. When they're like, oh, small dick, oh, real original. It doesn't sound like everybody I fucked.
It's like, oh, you don't have money to pay rent. It's like, whatever, wife.
Yeah,
what? You think I don't know that?
Yeah. Okay, so now you're just doing an impression of my wife. Fuck off.
But anyway, let's get into it. I know we are mainly heavy music and everything associated with that podcast, but I will say that I don't know how much this has hit your radar, but like I know we don't talk about hip hop really ever, but the whole Kendrick Lamar Drake beef is fucking overwhelming on my timeline.
I work with a gentleman known as Manti Santiago or Manny
Santiago.
He hates when I say Manti Santiago. Manny Santiago, and he has filled me in on all of the beef between Drake, J. Cole, as well as actually even Allen's. Literally every other comic that I know is
just say your non-white friends.
No. Oh wait.
I will say though, you know what?
He's Puerto Rican.
I will. You realize that?
Santiago, it's right there. I should have known.
Santiago.
Curly hair and everything.
I will say though, this is I think honestly we can say like White Boy Summer has started early. Like this shit right here, because people always bring this up when they'll talk about like there's a bunch of YouTube channels that'll be breaking down like rap beef and rap history and news and this and that. And everyone always like there's always a sect of people that get a stick up their ass because it'll be like a skinny white kid with a British accent breaking down like all this shit. And you're like, no, this element of it that's who does this.
Yeah.
Like when you get the guy making the history of blah, 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 you want a little nerdy autistic white guy who's fucking obsessed with this shit.
Yeah,
like
you want those little things over the elbows. You want you know what I mean? Like that you want somebody that like dresses nice.
Yeah, I don't want no. You want like a nerdy little hype beast kid that's like
that's what you're talking about. Okay.
He dresses cool, but at his core, he's just a fucking dork who wants to compile information.
I thought you were talking about like a historian or something like that. Okay.
But no, I go, that's who's good at this shit, is these dorky little white kids, so they can like get all the information together and fucking edit in bullshit on top of it and stuff. You know what I mean? Do I want to see them rapping? Absolutely not. Get them the hell out of there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, when
compiling information and giving it to me in a digestible form, those are the kids you want. Yeah.
I want the dweebiest little white kid you got.
So I was given, I think, a thorough enough breakdown where I definitely blacked out a couple times during where it's just like, who Jake, and then Future's in this as well, and then also like
So
I recognize all the names. I don't recognize, but it's the main people have been Drake and Kendrick Lamar, correct?
yeah,
Okay, got it.
right now, J. Cole was in the mix for a little bit, but he like dipped his toe in. It was very funny. So basically, where it started was
Can somebody
basically
take one back?
yeah,
Can
yeah.
somebody
You're
like
getting ahead of
somebody, like,
we got time, Pat. Let's go for a walk.
oh,
So basically what happened is Future and Metro Boomin. That's why people hate when white dudes talk
yeah,
about this shit.
that's
So
ridiculous.
it's just like, dude, that sounds crazy coming out of my mouth. So
And
here's
then
what.
Lil Baby, and then Da Baby.
So Metro Boomin put out a collection of his instrumental beats,
Yeah,
and Future did his dope rhymes over top of that.
he did. He did.
No,
Yeah.
so
I concur.
Metro Boomin is a producer. He did another album with Future. They put it out. There's a song on it called Like That
Yeah.
Kendrick had a verse, and it was basically, I don't remember this, but apparently J. Cole and Drake put out this song, First Person Shooter, where I think they might have like had a sneak diss at Kendrick. I can't remember. But Kendrick, he has a line saying something about first person shooter, and then he's kind of clearly, without saying it, coming at them, and then he has this one big line where he goes, man, fuck the big three, it's just big me. And I believe he says the N-word, but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, you can't say that. So he's as far as he's concerned, it's only Kendrick Lamar, and that's it.
Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar Lee.
Kendrick Lamar Lee, yes. No, it's just Kendrick. Dude, I'm thinking about the YouTube clip. It'd be so funny to be two cold ass white boys talk about the Kendrick Lamar Drake beat.
Let's get into it. You know what I'm saying?
We them white boys.
Why is he bringing it to that emotional level? Why would he talk about his children?
But yeah, so but like also too, that's why it's like it's so funny when people go like, oh my god, Kendrick said this, Kendrick said that, and it's like it's always been such like when he goes, fuck the big three, it's just big me. I don't even, to me, I see all these people spazzing on Twitter about that, and I go, that doesn't even I'm like, have you been listening to Kendrick? Like that to me just comes off as run-of-the-mill rap shit talking and this and that. But I guess, that turned into a whole fucking thing. And then what the fuck was it? J. Cole puts out this album, Might Delete Later, which that's so fucking funny in hindsight that he called it that, because on the end of it, he had this diss about Kendrick, and you were just listening to it, and it wasn't that great. It was surprisingly bad for like a J. Cole song. He's a pretty good rapper and shit. I think he was a little overrated for a while, but that's not to say he's a bad rapper. I just think a lot of times when you get these more heady, the term is conscious, these more conscious rappers who are a little more heady and they try to come off like they're kind of like highbrow and shit like that. The fans get really up their own ass. Like I saw the best example was people would screenshot lyrics from Kendrick songs and then like show what he was talking about. And they'd be like, can you believe like, oh my God, can you believe the way he referenced that? And someone had a joke where they showed Kendrick had a lyric where he said Aubrey, which is Drake's first name. And then someone showed up, they Googled Drake's real name and it said Aubrey. And he's sort of mocking the whole like, oh my God, can you believe this Kendrick line? That's the level of like cringy some of these fans get where they'll be like, oh my God, can you believe these bars? And they'll show you something. You're like, that's fine. It's not like, it's fine. And that's like my whole thing with J. Cole is everyone acts like he's a 10. And I'm like, he's like a 7.5, 8. You know what I mean? That's not bad. I just don't think he's a fucking 10.
I'm as impressed by by diss tracks as I am by like dance fighting. Like when you see like, like if you ever saw like, step it up or what is it? Stomp the Yard, stuff like that. Where we're going to dance competition and we're going to dance fight. It's like, that it's this thing where you're like, you're arguing with art. It's like, I'm going to paint a picture of you getting punched in the face. And they're going to be like, it's like, it's never, it's cool when they can turn an accurate or specific insult and also rhyme and put it into a cadence with that, yes, that is impressive, but it's also not like, it's not mind-blowing. They all do this for a living. So it's not incredible that they're like, oh, wait a minute, now he's doing it at Drake. Like he was doing it against the government, and then and all this other stuff earlier, and he was talking about his past, but now he's doing it with a person. That's crazy. He could do it with this subject. It's not crazy. It's something that they all do professionally. They all.
I guess. I guess in the context of the rap beef is there's always a lot of things that people won't say about each other, and the reason that the rap beef gets people hyped up is almost like, oh shit, he actually said that thing. Because there's always shit like fans will say all the time, but then when the rapper actually says it, it makes it a little bit more. It's like when wrestling, when they acknowledge the audience.
I was just gonna say, no, it's even worse. The reason it's not impressive, it's because the Macho Man Randy Savage did it. He said, Terry, he called him by, like, literally, these are fucking moves. You're stealing fucking Macho Man's shit. He's the one that started this. He's the one that said, I'm going to use your fucking, your God-given name.
Can I say this though? Cause I don't personally think, impress what?
Terry.
Well, no, I don't think impressive is the right word. Cause I do think, as a person who can't rap, and anytime I've ever tried to like write down, no, I know you can. That's why. Well, you're pretty secure in your rapping ability. So when Kendrick said "fuck the big three," you were like, well, he's clearly talking about me, and I don't care.
I said, come on.
But no, I think the better word, because I do think all the rapping is impressive. You know what I mean? Doing shit like that is impressive. Yeah. I think the better word would be, it's not surprising. And that's what everyone does with Kendrick, that I go, I just go, he does this all the time.
Yeah.
This isn't new. He's been shitting on Drake all the fucking time. And I more mean that initially. Like in the initial like that diss, it's like, guys, he's been shitting on Drake the whole time. This isn't surprising. So that's why
he doesn't shit on Drake. He's from Canada, guys. He's a Canadian guy who is like acting hard. He's from Canada. Like no matter what, you're a Canadian actor.
Yeah,
that's who you are. You are like, how more fake of a person can you be than a Canadian actor?
Well,
I mean, look,
really
they're
funny.
all artists. They're all artists, but like Canadian actor, you're like, I'm from the 6. You're from Toronto. All right, you're from where the Hockey Hall of Fame is.
Well, I'll say this because I think a lot of times people forget that every state, every country got their hood. But I'll also say this: I don't think Drake was from there. So
the Toronto hood, like the, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you hosers better watch out and get out of my neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, oh no, not the Canadian. What are you gonna get me with passive aggressive? I'm not scared of.
I don't know, dude. I've read what they
of any Canadian besides Chris Benoit.
I don't know, dude. I've read what they do to Indigenous people. They fuck shit up in Canada.
Oh yeah, well but then.
I know you're being funny, but it is a thing though of like everywhere's got their hood. It's just Drake is not from that.
Right, definitely not.
So yeah, J. Cole puts out the diss. It ends up not being great. And like I remember one of the big sticking points people were kind of commenting on is J. Cole was calling like To Pimp a Butterfly. That was Kendrick's second album. He was calling To Pimp a Butterfly boring, and everyone kept posting like how at the time it, how much it sold, all these records it broke, and you're like, no, I think people liked it, J. Cole. Yeah. And he had a bunch of lyrics where you're like, that just doesn't make sense what you're saying.
Right. They're just factually inaccurate. You're just like, yeah, that's not right. Like.
Oh. Yeah, but that was the big sticking point was he's like, To Pimp a Butterfly was boring. And yeah, everyone was. Now, here's the thing. To Pimp a Butterfly is the album people go back to probably the least because, though, it's like a whole piece. Like, you can drop in on most songs in like Good Kid, Mad City. You can drop in on any song and have a good time. Dams like that. The Mr. Morale one, not so much. But like the thing is, it's like, yeah, you don't go back to Pimp a Butterfly because it's like I don't always have an hour to kill. And I will say this actually, I don't know if this will mean anything to you. Just as a sidebar that I was getting really fucking annoyed. People were like, "Oh yeah, King To Pimp a Butterfly doesn't have a lot of bangers," and I was like, "Yeah, not in the traditional sense." But a lot of people were saying, "Do you remember the song King Kunta?" That
I don't think so.
that was like one of the what?
Is it off of that album?
It's on To Pimp a Butterfly. It was one of the like main. It was one of like the first singles I believe that came out, and I remember people were shitting on that, and I go, "Fuck you." That song fucking rules. So I just wanted to get it out there. That song fucking grooves so hard. But people, like a lot of people at the time, they wanted rap, and Kendrick's like, I'm gonna do funk. I don't know what to tell you. Like this is gonna be a funk album. Eat my dick. And it's a little heady for some people, but it's still a good album. But also at the same time, people were like, yeah, we might not go back to that all the time, but we all still like To Pimp a Butterfly. What the fuck are you talking about, J. Cole? And then J. Cole ended up apologizing at he apologized to Kendrick at his music festival, at J. Cole's music festival. Deleted the song, and then it kind of got that's when it started to get real wacky.
Then the AI voices started coming in, right? Or is that at this point, was this where?
Well, I was trying to bring up a timeline because I forget who started first, but I think Drake came at Drake came at Kendrick, and he had two songs, one where he was just kind of coming at him about general shit, and then he had the other one that had he had Tupac AI voice, and then he had Snoop Dogg AI voice, which was funny because it's like Snoop Dogg's alive. You could have you know what I mean? You could have just asked him. I don't think he would have done it because Snoop Dogg was like on Kendrick's album. I don't think Snoop Dogg would have done that to Kendrick or anything. But that, and I'm curious about your take on that. But like, so basically it was AI Tupac, AI Snoop Dogg, then Drake had a little bit. And I don't remember him saying anything super memorable from his verse on that. I remember the first one was pretty good, but it was still a little the other song he put out, I remember it being a little all over the place, and it was a lot of like, you don't want to get me going, Kendrick. I'm gonna give you a little taste, but you don't want to get me going. But yeah, I thought I listened to it. It was very weird, like especially being such a big artist that Drake is, and just using AI Tupac, AI Snoop Dogg. I thought it was really fucking weird, and it just came off bad.
I think he's somebody that is like, I think so. I don't think Canadian. I don't think Jake is, or Drake. Jake. I don't think Drake is as Canadian as like most. So like I think he's like, I think he gets that. I don't think he's being serious when he's doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it was meant to be kind of funny, but it's also like, I'm gonna get like some of your heroes to fuck with you, kind of thing. Like that. I get the joke of it, but also using the AI voice, especially with Snoop, it's just one of those things. He knows this, like it's very obvious that he knows this isn't like forever. This is just a thing that's happening right now. This is not going to be a thing that's like none of this is long term. Like they're not getting paid for any of this. They're gonna get paid from this. Obviously, they're already all huge artists and everything like that. But like genuinely, it's like just a really funny way and kind of fun way to like fuck with somebody. And also it like just genuinely saves you studio time. You can just have fucking AI like, hey, have Tupac Shakur fuck with Kendrick Lamar and diss him in a track in this verse with this song or something like that. And like, boom, there you go. You just type it in and just fucking it's kind of a funny. I thought it was hilarious. I think that's the best. Like, and the fact that Tupac Shakur's like family got upset about it and all this stuff is like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's like, come on. Like, what? It's a thing of like, it's not like, if anybody is taking this seriously, like I understand that you were talking about those people that are like doing the breakdowns and everything, but if anybody's taking this like to heart, it's kind of like, guys, like I don't know. We're talking shit. But maybe it's in the context of the beef aspect of it. Like maybe it's in poor taste considering how Tupac and Biggie died. Like to say that this was kind of they were doing diss tracks and they were talking about I fucked your bitch, you fat fuck, and
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
he didn't participate in diss tracks before. Like
no,
it's
I hear what you're saying. Like I don't know. I don't know for me if I'm necessarily hearing that going, "Ooh, this is in poor taste, Drake. Don't hurt the legacy of Tupac, a
yeah,
known." Like, it's like, bro, like I'm not even like mad at Tupac, but people get up their own ass about Tupac so fucking much, and it's like, dude, if you learn the base level about, bro, you don't even have to learn anything about Tupac. Go watch the video of him from acting school. And he's just like, "Hey, my name is Tupac Shakur." Like he sounds like a homosexual. And I'm not shitting on, obviously I'm not shitting on homosexuals. I'm just saying like a gay man is substantially different than what like Tupac's thug life persona is. And it's like the more you learn about Tupac, you realize like, oh yeah, he was leaning into this persona and sort of just became that character. And not to sound coarse, but then if you watch the whole thing where the night he got shot, like literally the night he got shot, it was like he heard that some dude disrespected some dude in his crew or whatever, and he's marching around the casino in Vegas trying to look for the guy. And then I think they like fucked up that guy, and that guy they fucked up, his boys came back, found Tupac at the light, and fucking shot him and shit like that. Yeah. So it's like, it's just this sad irony that, Tupac kind of, I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but like but Tupac kind of like pretending to be a thug is what kind of got him murked. No disrespect, but like, so I'm not sitting here being like, oh, don't disrespect the legacy of Tupac. I was like, I don't know, dude. Dude was kind of, I mean, he put out great music, but dude was kind of phony the whole time. So it's like, I'm not even worried about all that. I'm just more saying like from a strategical standpoint of I'm trying to do a better song in this rap beef. It just came off corny. That was more my thing.
To me, it's like to say like it doesn't tarnish his legacy if part of his legacy is like shit talking. Like part of what he did.
Whose legacy?
Tupac's. So like that's why I'm saying like just
if people said it tarnishes his legacy, they're just being dorks.
But I also think it's like I don't think it's to me it's not even just like necessarily it's the fact that anybody would take any of this so seriously. Just be entertained by it. Just
well, like, that's the part of this whole.
To me, I don't even think any of them actually hate each other. I think this is just like a fucking roast.
I don't know. Have you heard the newer Kendrick shit that came out yesterday?
I don't know.
It don't sound exacerbated.
I said no. I said
we're half hour.
No, the new one though.
Just say no. Just say I didn't. You went. I don't fucking know.
But I don't.
yeah, but you said it all exacerbated.
Yeah, well,
I don't care if you did. I just asked.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Yeah, that's all you had to say. I don't give a shit if you did. I would prefer you to listen to none of it. Then your opinions can be more unhinged.
Yeah. Well, what was it? What is it?
No, I was just gonna make a joke. I was like, if you heard the last one he did, I was like, I think he like hates this guy. It was like he was like literally being like, I think you should be dead. Yeah, it was very.
I mean, I guess I was gonna say, yeah, I've said that to you before, but I was also not joking. So I guess
I didn't mean to get sassy with you. I was just about to agree with you, and I go, I'm on your side, Bucko.
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna agree with you where it's just like, don't get me wrong. Like this is what's like. There's like two things that are sitting with me weird with this beef, and it might just be the nature of Twitter and shit like that. But it's like kind of to what you were saying, where you're like, you start to realize, reading how people are talking about this, and you go, oh, this is like your, like out of the things you care about this week, this is like your top thing. And it's like, this is fun, but I don't know. I'm really just, it's fun, but I'm not going to get emotionally invested in it because I'm just watching two millionaires hate each other via rhymes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing is like to act like one is more. So you're right. Like to say like maybe it is true to the fact that they hate each other or something like that because of the fact that like the lyrics themselves are visceral. Right. But like the the fact that you can act like one of them is harder than the other, like they're art fighting. They're talking with their poems. They're like,
Yeah.
if you take the music out, they're just going like, I don't really like you. Like it's just this thing of like the attitude, the insults are there, the specificity
Yeah.
is what is appreciated, but they're art fighting. They're fighting with their poems, and they're saying like
Yeah.
it doesn't seem as incendiary as like other arguments that I've seen. Like again, it's almost like this is almost like a step above it because it's more entertaining, but it's a step above arguing in the comments. Like this is just you're not going to convince the other person that they are gay and they suck. So so like why do you keep shouting at them? But it's also like, I don't know, I kind of like dipping into the comments sometimes and being like, yeah, look at these fucking dickheads fighting.
Well,
You
yeah, I
know?
don't know. I have fun with it because I think a lot of this stuff is super revealing. Like the one thing I think a lot of people aren't sort of seeing is this actually, I mean, I don't think it'll hurt Kendrick, but I think because I don't think it just doesn't feel like anyone's gonna notice it because I think I think there's a huge contingency of people who hate Drake and they've been really frustrated that like he just won't go away and he just won't stop being
Yeah.
successful. So this will realistically this may hurt Drake, but honestly, like he's a pop star, and I think a lot of people into Drake don't care if Kendrick dissed him. Like, I don't know, dude. The like him being weird with teenagers rumors have been out for a while, and it hasn't hurt him. You know, it's like everyone knows he got bullied into raising his son, and that didn't hurt him. Like, I don't see this hurting Drake in the long run, but
Any of them. Like I said, there's no long-term effects to anybody. There's just going to be that information out there. But like my same friend Manny also brought up the fact that a lot of the shit that people are bringing up about Drake has already been brought up before. It's like
yeah.
they're not even bringing up new topics.
And
So
that, and that's right. I forgot what I was going to say, but that goes back. I'm glad you said that because that goes back to what I was going to say about Kendrick, which a lot of people aren't noticing. Where Kendrick has presented himself this whole time as sort of the he's always presented himself as like the bigger man in these situations. Like Drake will get a little bit more petty and Kendrick will be like more mature about it. Like he'll still hit him back, but he'll be more mature and he'll still be like, you know, I'm not as bothered about this as you think I might be or this and that. And then it's just like the way, because no, actually I didn't even think about that, but Manny makes a great point. Kendrick's not saying a lot of shit we don't already know about Drake. I know we brought up that Drake's hiding a daughter, and Drake actually posted on Instagram, like, please let me know about this daughter I'm hiding. I'd love to meet her.
yeah.
So I think that's safe to assume Kendrick just has bad info on that. But everything else, though, all the other shit that Kendrick's saying that feels vicious towards Drake, it's all personal shit about Kendrick just being like, I don't fucking like you. I think you're the fucking worst. And which is, if that's his prerogative, that's fair. I just think it kind of goes counter to the general persona that Kendrick has built up over the years. And I personally think, you know, I don't think a lot of people are going to notice it, but for me, it just seems like a bad look for Kendrick because, dude, his whole persona. I was listening to a bunch of shit about this. I must have missed it, but I after listening to this shit and going back through his music, you know, like Kendrick's been on record saying like I'm on like almost like the fucking Blues Brothers, like we're on a mission from God. Like I was chosen by God. I have this big important mission to write this music and do all this stuff. And he adds this big grandiose, like there's this huge important overarching mission or reason for my life and all this other stuff. But also, if Drake shits on me, I'm going to be the most petty anyone's ever been in their entire life. And it just, I don't know. It's not that the song's bad. It's just in a vacuum, the song rules. But it just, all of this goes counter to the Kendrick persona I've come to know his whole career.
Yeah, I think that, and that's the weirdest part. Like it's like because he's he's another one of, like you said, there's a To Pimp a Butterfly. He's like an artistic, like an artsy. He's like one of the top guys, right? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like for him to come down to come down to champagne poppies level. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, why are you spending time hating this guy? Like you're two different people. That's what I don't understand. It's like, I know in the terms of like hip hop, yes, they're peers. They're in the same their same realm, right? But like
Yeah.
overall, like
Kendrick's the better rapper, but Drake's like the bigger artist.
but yeah, but content wise, there I don't think there's a lot of crossover. For people that want to listen to more Kendrick stuff, they'll listen to Kendrick stuff. The people that want to listen to more fucking, like you said, like a pop star,
Yeah.
or pop hip hop, you know, some shit like that. Oh, I just made that up.
You're fine.
Hip hop.
Hey Pat.
Hip hop.
Hey Pat.
What? Yeah.
I'm sorry if I got a little too sassy earlier.
Hey Andy. Not forgiven.
Good. Fuck you, you passive aggressive bitch. Anyway, go on.
My diss track coming up. Andy is a tool.
I don't like you. You are gay, but that's okay.
But that's not it. He's also gay too. But no, I just think that, like, to say, like, to argue again, this is it's a book versus movie. It's Android versus Apple. It's like, it's just preference. It's like saying, like, but if he's saying these are the reasons I don't like you, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Arguing via music it's fun, but it's not like it's just gonna be, I don't know. It's just like, to me. Also, if I may, I just had this final thought about this. All of the considering the level of all of these people involved, I have heard of everyone involved except for, what was that one guy? Something Metro Boomin.
Metro Boomin. He's known to want some more from time to time.
Okay, he's the only one that I've not like super familiar with, as far as like.
He's a producer.
Future.
He's not a rapper. He's a producer.
All right, that makes more sense. So
You've probably heard Future say his name at the beginning of songs, where he goes, Metro Boomin wants some more N-word.
But no, I haven't heard that. But I have.
You want to hear it again? Metro Boomin wants some more N-word.
I like the edit. He's saying it, but we're putting in this posthumously. He's saying it live. Everybody that's hearing this live knows that Andy just said hard R's. But I think there's like it almost seems like a bunch of people that aren't having real experiences a lot anymore, trying to have a genuine experience again. Like, you know what I mean? Like how comics, after they like have spent so much time on the road, all of their jokes become about airport and hotel stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's like almost the same thing where they're like, I can't just keep singing about like how much I have and how much this rules. I need to have a real experience, like an argument with somebody that's not just going to tell me I'm right, or that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have.
Oh, you talking about the art? I thought you were talking about the fans with how they're responding to it, because I think it's like, I've caught myself in this where there's so much content, and like, I have the kind of, I think it's like my ADHD or something, where it's like, I don't like, or I don't know, but I think there's like a slight correlation to it, because I get hyper focused on things and then I don't like to not finish things. Yeah. So, and there's so many things I want to check out, and there's so much fucking content, and you get bogged down in this content where you're like, oh, I have to read this book, and I was going to read this comic, but I also want to watch this TV show, and oh, I should watch this movie because it's a classic movie. And you get bogged down with content, and then you're like, oh, the Kendrick Lamar beef is happening. I have to, and it doesn't help that we're fucking podcasters, and you're like, I have to make sure I'm up to date on every aspect of this thing and this and that. And I think it's like, I think the way that content is now, people get super bogged down with this, and it's why it becomes all consuming, where, I think just because I'm looking at the tweets, because I haven't really tweeted about it. The only tweet I made, you know what, I'll bring this up later so we don't get sidetracked. But like, I've been like, all my tweets are the Kendrick and Drake thing. But if I go out into the real world and I go, did you hear the new Drake diss? People would be like, sir, buy something or leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it doesn't exist. I wouldn't even probably know about it if Manny didn't explain it. I would just say, oh, they must have.
Thank God for Manny Santiago.
Yeah, and actually he is very much involved in it, and very much
Well, I was saying before, Manny's got to be having the time of his fucking life with
yeah.
This is his fucking wheelhouse.
Yeah, this is right now. This is happening real time. He has been following it up to date and I've been getting the up to date shit from him, but also luckily in bullet what is it? Bullet notes?
Points.
Bullet points. That's it. You could tell how much I studied. But there's yeah, I just don't have the interest in it.
You just don't have the bandwidth.
I was gonna say that, but I fucking went with a different word just because I was like, I just don't have. My mind does not have the space to like keep up with this.
I gotta be honest, dude. Stuff like this, not before I had my coffee.
I mean, is it? I mean, hey, I only drink coffee on the days that end with Y.
Sorry, I can't listen right now. My give a fuck is still loading.
I don't think that's I don't know if that's a real one. Maybe that's
I bought that on a shirt at Spencer's, so it's a thing. Yeah, I bought that, and I bought some candy underwear just for a snack.
Just for a snack, just to eat it on the bench next to somebody to make them look at you weird.
I just eat the candy underwear, and I'm like, is this what you wanted? I just hand Steph adult diapers.
Yeah, I just I'd like to see if something actually comes to this, like a celebrity boxing match would be cool if there's ever a payoff. But really, if it's not going to come to actual physical altercations, sanctioned and legitimate, not on the streets. We've learned this lesson, guys. Let's keep it in the ring. But
I hope it ends in a brutal, bloody gunfight.
Come on, Andy. YouTube.
I'm kidding. I don't want that to happen. I like their music.
That's the only
oh, dude, it was funny too because you gotta bro. I was just watching a doc about this, the fog of war, when the shit's going down and you're kind of like, you don't know what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. Is that a dog? Is that a cat? I had brain damage. I don't know.
I do that. I do that in jiu-jitsu all the time. When I want somebody to.
Am I fighting a dog?
If I look up, I go like this. I go, "Is that a dog? Who brought a dog?" And they go, "What?" And they go,
"I got you. I win." But no, like, so you're kind of like all fucking, shit. I forgot. I made too many jokes. I forgot the point.
Fog of war.
No, I know. Fog of war. But yeah. I don't know. What were you saying before that?
I was saying something about just not having the bandwidth, and I just hope that nobody gets hurt doing this. I hope that it does end in a sanctioned boxing match between Kendrick Lamar and Champagne Poppy. I don't know why I just hate that name so much. I really I don't dislike either one. I do like Kendrick Lamar. I do like Drake. I don't really know them too specifically.
Well, the Champagne Poppy shit goes with one of Kendrick's best lyrics where he was like, when you take pictures with you, he was like saying how he's like, when Drake takes pictures with Sexy Red, he's like, take pictures with Sexy Red, all I see is two bad bitches. And like, that's why Drake has names like Champagne Poppy. He's a little bit of a bad bitch from time to time.
He's a little scamp, is he?
Yeah.
I overall I think that's all cool. It's fun. It's interesting, but it also kind of screams like millionaires wanting a real experience and not like.
Yeah. That's the other part where like, yeah, I don't know. It goes back to what I said earlier, where it's like when people, because like Drake had some lines and where I guess he rapped at Kendrick. He goes, you're rapping like you're trying to free the slaves, which like I laughed at initially, but then a lot of people got upset about that, which I get. It's like content wise, like you could get upset about that, but then it just goes back to the point where it's like, don't get too emotionally invested in this because it's millionaires rhyme fighting with each other.
Literally just words.
Literally, like, what did you say? They're poem fighting. They're poem fighting. Like don't take it too seriously.
They're going like, "Oh, is that right? Let me get my quill."
Well, that was the other thing too, and I guess I feel like I'm going harder at Kendrick, and it's probably because it's like I'm a big Kendrick fan.
Yeah.
So like,
you kind of hope that he would know better. You know what I mean? Just
well,
don't get caught up
he's a grown man. I don't want to be like, should have known better, Kendrick.
to deal with Poppy.
No, I just I would have thought he would go about it a different way, but it seems like most people like it, so I guess it doesn't really matter what I think.
Yeah,
But I think I'm not going as hard on Drake because I'm just like, yeah, Drake's sassy. And
he's a cornball. Yeah, he's kind of a cornball.
His whole thing is he's a sassy bad bitch, and he's still doing that. So it's like I'm gonna focus more on Kendrick because it's like it feels like a little out of character. But the other thing I was gonna say, one, I did get a little bit annoyed with Kendrick, because on the one diss he just kept bringing he kept making it a point to say like making it a diss that Drake's like mixed race. And you're like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be.
No, I think it's the fact that he's mixed race and he uses the N word.
Yeah. That was actually.
That's a good point because I'm like, wait a minute. And then also somebody brought up. I saw somebody share a clip. I think it might have been a
super awkward N word in the interview.
No, he said it was in a. I think it was. Yeah. It was.
That's what I'm talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, he says the N word in the interview, and it's super. No, go back to interviews. You never hear Drake say the N word like ever.
Yeah, it's very interesting to be like hard R on that. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I know. It's just it was also too what annoyed me with Rick Ross had a diss, and it was just the way he was saying white boy. Like I know we were joking about it earlier, but he had like a little bit of extra stank on it where I'm like, yo, why you sound mad? Don't be mean, Rick. I like you, dude. Don't say it like that. It was just and that was my thing with Kendrick. There was a little bit of like it was kind of like how he was saying it that I'm like, all right, dude, calm down.
I get that.
You know what I mean? Just that, as a white boy who likes Kendrick, there was a little part of it I was just like, what's bad about that?
I would like, but much like the distinction we've argued about with like with a lot of people arguing with bands that do unsavory things, and we go like, okay, they did the thing, they fixed the problem that you guys were mad about, and then you're still mad at them. It's kind of the same thing of like, we need to get a percentage ancestry wise of how black do you have to be able to say it without criticism? Because if you just go, oh, he's a light skinned guy, like you can't say that. Well, how light? I mean, like, where do the parents need to be from for this? Because now you're gonna add this specific rule. It's like one of those things
that coincides. That was actually my favorite part about one of Kendrick's. He kept saying it in his song where he goes, I hate how you say N-word. And he wasn't even rapping. He was just like, I hate how you say it.
Yeah.
like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
But then I did really enjoy, just from a pure like fucking ha jab standpoint, Drake's response was to be like, I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. He said it so many times.
Yeah, that's why this is like, it's not, this is just wrestling, guys. We're just fucking, everybody's just shooting promos on each other, and they're fun wrestling rap promos, and nothing, and to me, nothing more than that. But also, like, it's funny that like I love that people are like, that's a good point. Or like the thing of like when the thing of like saying like, I don't like how Drake says the N-word, and people going like, finally, we've been saying that forever. Like it's like a thing of like, okay, well then, all right, like let's get into it. This is cool to be like, and then like you said, to be like, all right, well, how about if I give you a little and then you go, what? And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna actually my response and that's my response. And
well, that's the other part where it's like yeah, I don't know. It's not I try to just view it as more of a fun little event. It's not it's just it's like really, I don't know, it's real cringy watching people take it so fucking seriously, cuz like you said, it's not going to hurt, cuz that's also an interesting perspective people need to have on like, will this hurt their career? Won't it hurt their career? Yeah. And like people also got to realize, like, in a lot of these on a lot of these like back and forths, they'll be like, 50 Cent killed Ja Rule's career, and you're like, no, Ja Rule just doesn't make good music. Like, here's the thing. like 50 Cent sped up the downfall of Ja
Yeah.
Rule, but
Yeah,
like you're telling me we'd still be like we'd still be listening to the new Ja Rule hit, like, and that's happened. Like that's the thing people got to realize. Like these rap beefs don't hurt anyone. It just, if you suck, it kind of speeds it up a little.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt anybody. And like, yeah, Kendrick's not gonna get hurt from this. Drake's not gonna get hurt from this. And you know what I mean? Like, but like if somebody were to like throw their hat in the ring and be like, well, I also think you suck, and they're like, do you really want to tug at the string? You know what I mean? Like, is this something you really want to? Because that's one of those things. Like, and I wonder if like people know when to bow. Like you said, that one guy took his who is it? Took the song back. Who was it that took the
J.
song?
Cole.
J. Cole. J. Cole was like, hey, you know what? I know where I stand here. I'm just gonna head out. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you guys are right. That's probably too far. I'm gonna head out.
Well, I think what J. Cole did was J. Cole realized Kendrick comes from the school of hip hop beef that Pusha T started. And Pusha T, well, I don't know if you heard his Drake diss. That was the one where he was basically like, you're hiding a child and your best friend has cancer. Haha. Like Pusha T just was relentless. And Pusha T's been on record saying he just has files on everyone. And he's insane about this stuff. And I think Kendrick's the same way. And I think J. Cole had a realization of like, because J. Cole, the problem with his diss, you almost have to be crazy to do these disses properly because of how high end some of them are. Because J. Cole's diss was like, oh, Kendrick talks some shit. Let's figure out a diss track. Drake and Kendrick's disses have been like, I've been waiting to put this out.
Yeah. They've already had it out. Like they had files almost.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's funny that, and also, and Pusha T also called Hulk Hogan the N-word on WCW, right?
Shut the fuck up. Wait, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. You know that's not.
It was Booker T. I know, but it was just funny when you said Pusha T. I was like, oh yeah, and Pusha T. He was shooting out. He shot a shot against Hulk Hogan.
Sorry,
Hulk Hogan.
I didn't know if you were serious or not.
Yeah, I was hoping to get a spit take, but instead of I got a hey pal, you know that's right. That's not wrong.
I fucked up the joke because I thought you were serious.
Nope.
My last thing on it, and then we can move on to talking about music we know about.
This though, I think we did pretty good.
I think we did good.
Sharing our opinion on something that I'm not very familiar with at all, and you are familiar with, but again, from an expert angle.
We're just some cold ass white boys.
Hey man, I'm cold as fuck. My feet, I have no circulation.
Damn it, that is not what a cold ass white boy would say. Fuck, dude. We're gonna damn it.
My allergies are just so damn it, I did it again.
Luke, bro, you're a lukewarm white boy at best.
Oh dear. I hate being a lukewarm white boy. I'm gonna warm up some tea.
Sorry, I just been using white boy more because there's this one meme on Twitter that keeps popping up on my timeline where it'll I don't know, I don't fully understand it, but it makes me laugh every time. Like one time, someone just posted some like 3 tacos. They look super authentic, and someone just the caption all the time will just be like, "How's this make you feel, white boy?" people keep doing that, and it's my favorite joke. But the last part is, so I think I mentioned it earlier. I don't know if I've been talking about this. I've been annoying Steph with like, let me tell you about the Drake Kendrick rap beef wife. I'm 34. Let me tell you about the Drake Kendrick rap beef wife.
But then he responded by
saying, and then he said this, and I was like, oh my god. Oh, that's the other part of this. Like, dude, you dudes don't realize, like, you talking about this rap beef, you sound like my wife describing what happened on Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where like they're not paying attention. They're just like Oh,
but the last part was, so Drake's had like pedo allegations because he's had odd behavior around teenagers and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he's almost 40, acting super juvenile and all this stuff. So, I don't know if he's full out pedo. He might just be a little bit of a creep. I don't know. There's just allegations. So to cover my ass legally, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
But there'll be these lines on Kendrick's album where he's being he's almost heavily implying you're a pedophile. And to that I go, hey, if you know someone's a pedophile, maybe don't rhyme about it. Maybe file a police report. Cause that's my other thing that I don't know, that makes me laugh about all this shit is you'll have these dudes who are I know all this super scandalous, awful shit about these guys, but I'm only gonna reveal it if they are mean to me. And then it's well, if some of it's real crucial, like a fucking Diddy situation or whatever the fuck, it'd probably be really good to reveal that or some shit. Yeah. All right. Pat is frozen. Let me bring him back. Yeah. Something keeps happening. I wanted to finish my thought for the edit. But that keeps happening. I just realized if you freeze, if I take you on and bring you back off, or if I take you off and bring you back on, it fixes it.
Okay.
Because the second I pulled you off like this, I saw you down there, you started moving again. So maybe that's new though. That hasn't happened before. I'm drinking a gallon of water like a hand job, so I actually need to piss real bad again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go too. Wait, can we both go?
No, we're podcasting. One of us has to
stay. Yeah. So I feel like he was just about to go into some that is weird too, because we were just doing a stream earlier where as soon as we started talking about No More Heroes, if you guys watch, you should check it out on Andy's page there, No More Heroes. But we talk about weird ass shit oftentimes, and it's weird that we've been talking about this thing for almost an hour, and the one time he starts bringing up pedophilia and stuff like that, we get another glitch. I feel like the last glitch we had during No More Heroes, there was something like that, similar to not that, but a weird conspiracy theory type subject or something that came up, that I wonder if if StreamYard is maybe part of the very infrastructure we're trying to bring down. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. We've been talking about something I don't know what I'm talking about for almost an hour, and I feel like I've been pretty good with the mental gymnastics, but we're both healthy boys that try to stay hydrated, so bathroom breaks are a welcome break anytime. So I'm sure he'll come back and finish his point again for the edit. But it is a very strange coincidence that every time we've been glitched up and froze up like that, it's kind of whatever. But we'll be talking about other music like Taylor Swift in a little bit.
What's up?
I was just saying that when we glitched during No More Heroes, I feel like you were bringing up some kind of conspiracy thing or something like that, and I was like, in this one you were bringing up pedophilia with Drake, and then all of a sudden but you glitched up.
Shit, they're coming to get us.
So I'm gonna go take a break. You finish that thought while I'm away. So that way, if there's any glitches, you can fix them in house.
Well, I said, get out of here. Get out. Right, fuck away from me. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just you know what my thing is too. Not to. I feel like I bring this up all the fucking time, and it's really annoying to hear a complaint. It's really annoying to hear someone go I need to work on this, and it's yeah, you've said that 1,000 times, but the more and more things happen, it's because I will say this for what I do with the podcasting, podcasting, and also just being a stand-up comedian. It's the best way to stay current is almost to be on Twitter a little bit, but I'm realizing dude, you gotta turn it off because it's just it's so much. I don't know. It's no Tay. What's that from? I don't know. Oh, I was gonna say obviously being who I am, I'm not gonna be for any government program banning your access to a thing, but spiritually or philosophically, it would be good to ban yourself from Twitter after a certain point, because you know what it is, it's not even the app's fault, because I don't think they have, I don't know, it's a lot of people, because they want to understand something in a more conducive way, a lot of people put on God damn it. My cat came back in here when we were talking when I went to the fucking bathroom because he can't not be in a room. And so he like the second he gets in a room, he's like, I have to be fucking in there. And now he's like, well, now I want to get out of here. I'll let him out when Pat gets back. But no, I don't even think because a lot of people put like they put like on social media, they put all this spooky intentions, and I don't even think it's necessarily like intended to be evil. I think it's an indifferent money making intentions. So it's like with the nature of social media, they don't, Twitter has a subscription, but generally speaking, social media doesn't charge you a fucking price to use the app and shit like that. They don't charge you to use it. So they have to make money off of advertising and shit like that. So with the way things are and the way that like the information gets pumped out, it's not like it's inherently what did Pat say? Pat say we're going to listen to Taylor Swift next time. Sorry, I was rambling. I'm so glad you're back. I don't know. Social media is bad. Don't use it too often.
You were saying
I was saying like I get just with the half the reason I was like, why are these people giving a shit about Drake and Kendrick? I honestly half the reason is like you can't pull away from Twitter because the whole like the dopamine hits on the whole fucking topic, but it's like you gotta just fucking pull away, because it feels like being on social media all the time, it feels like you're implementing your own big brother because you're constantly inundating yourself with everyone's fucking opinion.
Yeah.
And you trick yourself into thinking I'm just staying up to date on things. It's like, no, after a certain point, like I don't need to be inundated with everyone's fucking opinion all the fucking time. Sometimes, like, I legit I would have moments where I'd hop in, I'd see what people were tweeting to get sort of the idea, but it's like you got to get out and like, especially too with podcasting, it's like step away, formulate your own opinion, and then when you did that, put that up against other people's opinions and shit like that.
And that's the important part. That's the part I like about doing this show and having like people comment or pound off in the comments as we're streaming and shit like that is sharing the exchange of opinions. Like I like having the like we formulate this thing, like we can present it, we can have this thing, but it's like the like you said, after a while it's like what are people actually doing? How much, like it really does kind of disappoint me how hard it is to find a legitimate like workout like site anymore, or like not site but like a page, like one that's not also an OnlyFans, also like a thing, like actual personal trainers that aren't just like that legitimately are actually trying to help people online or something like that. It's like it's always because everybody has to be so many things. It's like there's like everybody kind of feels it's refreshing when you actually see somebody that's like actually trying to help you lift correctly and with like the like, and not just be like
that's where with like certain things, like I realized that with like trying to read more books and learning about stuff, and like try like because I've been getting I'm mid-30s white guy, I'm into history, and you realize with certain things you just gotta read a book about it. You can't piece together a bunch of YouTube clips and podcasts and get like a real understanding of something. You just gotta get a fucking book about it. And with fitness, going to the CrossFit gym, just going to this gym for what, like 2 years at this point, I've learned more about fitness than I ever have like anything I've read ever online and shit like that. So I think a lot of times, a lot of this shit online, I talk about it. I've said this before. There's different activities you do in life that, you're essentially eating potato chips when you do it. And when you're getting a lot of times when you're getting information, like there's a lot of like for breaking news and stuff, of people posting raw footage and shit like that. And I mean, honestly too, I would be happy if Twitter just was kind of like breaking news, raw footage, and dudes posting jokes.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like, there's some people who give real opinions on Twitter that I like, but generally speaking, it's not a good place to just give out genuine opinions. There's no nuance. There's no fucking anything good around that. But I was gonna say? Oh yeah, like thinking about fitness and shit like that. Oh yeah, but there's a lot of experiences you have in life where you're actually just kind of, symbolically eating potato chips where
Yeah.
you could eat a whole bag of potato chips and go like, I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
In actuality, so, if you found, you think you're going to find some weightlifter on TikTok and you're actually going to learn something from them. You're like, no, you're just kind of eating potato chips or you're eating fucking Twizzlers. And right now, and potato chips and Twizzlers are fine, but right now you need broccoli and going to the physical gym and talking to a trainer who knows you, that's eating the broccoli. Now, let's be real. No one has fucking money, so I get the impulse to go to. I'm just saying if money isn't an issue,
Yeah. Oh,
what's a better route?
did you ever finish your thought about Drake that you were talking about, or about?
Yeah, I finished it on there while you were frozen up. I should say we should acknowledge this comment. We love you too.
Yeah. Thank
Destroy
you.
Boy 47. I love you. Much homo.
Yeah. All the homo.
Yes. It is unapologetically homo when I love you.
It's 2024,
Be a homo.
Be homo.
Be homo. That's
Be
so
homo.
funny. Yeah, I don't know. I know I texted you wanting to possibly talk about Taylor Swift.
We don't have to. I mean,
I don't know.
I warned him while you were gone that we might be talking about Taylor Swift. I said, well, I said, I don't know what I'm talking about. I said, I've already spent an hour talking about something I didn't know what I was talking about.
Well, maybe we talk. I don't know. I'm just over the whole. I don't know. We kind of talked about it on No More Heroes, but the whole fucking, because you actually said something that I didn't even think about, but I was like, oh yeah, I saw some shit where it's like with Taylor Swift and her fans fucking doxing people or something because they don't like, it's psychotic.
Reviewers, like people that were reviewing her album were like, why is this man reviewing this album and all this other bullshit? And like, if they're giving bad reviews, they're like either trying to force them to retract them or doxing them or fucking with them online, flooding the comments, like trying to get them to lose their jobs.
What? And I don't mean to be this guy because I don't think everyone. I'm not saying the politics and blah 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 has to be your main thing, and you can only spend your obviously you need time to enjoy music and sports and watch wrestling and watch TV shows and stuff like that. But like it goes back to what you prioritize giving a fuck about,
right?
And it's like, what the fuck is that thing where there's people willing to be like, I'll die for this millionaire I've never met.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, how do you feel about Israel Palestine? You'll be like, well, I don't like to get political.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Yeah. What the fuck is that? And it's like, I don't know. That feels like I don't want to be that guy who's like, you ever see that video of Jaden Smith where he's like, why don't we talk about war, the economic political situation of our times. All these other kids around me don't want to talk about the economic situation going on. And you're like, shut up, Jaden. But at the same time, I don't know. It's this weird thing we do. It's this weird thing we do where, and I'm no better than anyone else, but it's this. I'm actually a lot better. No, it's this weird thing we do though, where it's like people will die for a fucking millionaire they've never met.
It's crazy.
Like their music, have fun listening to Taylor Swift, but like you'll dox someone because they don't like. And this is what I texted you. Like I listened to half of her album the other day. I'm not being a hater. It's just, and I cross references to her older shit. I'll actually give her props. Her older shit, when she was probably getting a lot of fucking help. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think she's getting help writing her music anymore. I think it's just her. But
that's my issue.
You listen to her older shit and you're like, oh yeah, these are some good harmonies. It's actually like, it's like pop country music, but you're like, this is fun. Right. And it's like, it's just genuinely not that great. And then you read the fucking lyric. This is the lyric I sent you where I go, you left your dude, this shit is, and I don't want to just be, because it's so easy to just shit on Taylor Swift. This is what we try to say. Like, we are well calculated, researched haters. That's why Pat's clasping his arms like that. He's an educated hater. Like, we're educated haters. And it's like, dude, but listen to these lyrics. You left your typewriter at my apartment. straight from it's fucking brutal. Straight from the tortured poets department. I think some things I never say, like who uses a typewriter anyway? Just in that, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Are you? Yeah, you're dating. You're the hipster queen that's dating some hipster douche that's like,
Who the fuck leaves a typewriter at your apartment?
But also,
why would you bring a typewriter over?
Who the fuck thinks she lives in an apartment? You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Like at this point, we all have seen your lifestyle. We know like that you've been in the limelight nonstop for this entire time. We've seen the scale of the money that you're making, the fucking everything that not only it went past what you were projected to make, that you are a very hardworking young lady as well. But I think that there's an issue with like relatability and also making it a point to make another small fortune, another large fortune really, off of your existing works. Not just doing this is a 10-year anniversary thing or a 20-year anniversary thing, or like Offspring does with every one of their albums. Like this is a thing where they go
throwback reference no one will get, but I love it.
You, dude. You know what? That's one of our greatest. Our clips are fucking golden and they need to be on TikTok. I think that's where they need it. But
that's what we're missing is being on TikTok.
There's a thing where there's like, you don't have this, like you said, her re-recording her album or something like that. The one thing that I have a problem with that is there's no fucking way you wrote the bass part, the fucking guitar, the other guitar part, the drums, the fucking the mix, all this other shit. You are not doing this alone. You are not doing this alone. Just because you're going in to re-record it, you're not recording all those other instruments. You're not fucking doing it alone. It's the band. The whole it's you are it's like it's almost like how most people probably viewed, and part of the conflict with No Doubt for a while was the fact that everybody was like, oh, it's Gwen Stefani and her band. Like it's No Doubt is the band. These are the songs.
Yeah, but I mean,
I hear what breaks away. You're like, oh, it was No Doubt.
I hear what you're saying, but I think if anyone's being, I'll say this about her re-recording. I personally, I don't give a shit. It's if you want to do that so you have ownership of your, because I get it as a business person, the fact just by the sheer principle of the matter, like all of my money for these albums I wrote or, paid people to write, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
I get it from a business standpoint. These are my albums. I should be making, if that's what you want to do, re-record all that stuff, more power to you. Yeah. My whole thing is like the fact that she's trying to shift into this aw shucks relatable girl world.
Right.
Or like, let me tell you about my little sad stuff. It's like, sweetheart, I'm sorry. You've been famous. Right. Since fucking 15. And on top of that, like, dude, she got started with like her dad had like $100,000 investment into all this musical shit so she could start her career. And it's like, you don't get to cosplay as an aw shucks regular girl. I don't like, and I'm trying to say too, I don't give a fuck that you're rich and you want to be a musician. It's just this like fake relatability. It's obnoxious. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's fucking obnoxious and I can't stand it.
Yeah, I think that's the point that I remember during the Spotify or whatever the streaming thing was. Remember when she had that big thing that she was like, I'm going to stand up for the small artist because we don't get a fair shake on streams or something like that, but then failed to mention any small artist that she was supporting, just small artists, knowing that when they renegotiate the percentage that artists get from streams, like the money that people get, that she's going to get a fuck ton of money. You know what I mean? Like she was obviously arguing in her best interest, but in the like, that's when I was like, oh, I smell a phony young lady. Before that, I didn't really give a shit. I don't care about Taylor Swift either way. And I still don't really care, but to argue that she is anything besides as far as as far as appearance wise, people have always said that she's beautiful. Dancing, it's been proven that she's not a good dancer or anything like that. But also, it's the fact that now we've got the trifecta here with the like. I just feel like she's a pretty young lady who is talented as far as singing, lyric writing. I people say songwriting, but I don't know how involved she is with the composition. I'm sure we'll find out now that we're talking about it. I'm sure
Yeah,
plenty
I
of people
think
will give us a detailed list of why we're wrong, but it's still one of those things that like I just one of those things that people now just are not allowed to have an opinion about her work, saying like I like you could have every other preface in there. Like you said, I listened to this, her earlier works. The reason her tour is so successful playing her older songs is because how epic they are and how much people love them and how much people relate to them.
and I will say, I actually got to give her props.
What?
Some of those older songs, it's like pop bullshit, but they're catchy.
Yeah, she does a
I
good job.
I
That's
actually
what.
I was laughing. I was listening to what's the one where it's like he wears t-shirts,
Yeah.
she's a cheer captain, and I'm on the bleachers. I was
Right.
like, this song's kind of fun.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like you have that aspect and that element as well. You have the star power. Nobody's arguing that, but it's just like the thing where you're like still writing about living in an apartment and you broke up with this guy. It's like I don't know, man. I know that you're still struggling with shit now that you're rich because it's got to be hard to feel. It's to feel so have so many eyes on you, but still to feel so isolated. Write about that shit. If you're a real artist, dude, adapt. Like don't still sing about I'm just a goofy, awkward person. We know you're awkward. We've seen you dance.
Well,
We know that your relationships go up and down because every one of them has been in the public eye, and the fact that you've been famous since you've been 15. All of these things are not necessarily relatable, but if you're an artist, you should be able to relate them in a relatable way, right?
can I say this though? I will slightly defend her and defend celebrities in general because,
Okay.
and I was noticing this with, I'm trying to remember who I was. People do this to comedians a lot of times when comedians, because like, let's be real, like stand-up comics, most of us are insane people and people enjoy comics because of because of things they do that are like that go against normal.
They're quirks. Yeah.
They're quirks, but
yeah.
a lot of times, but like let's be real, a lot of times it's because they're outrageous people, they abuse drugs and do all this other shit.
Yeah.
And then they'll get really, really popular and people will be like, oh, you're a fucking drunk, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. And you're like, and then and I think and I noticed that I go, oh yeah, you liked all those things, but now that they're like big and famous and they have a bunch of money, now all those characteristics are obnoxious. And it's this weird and this weird thing where you build up people and this happens with like celebrities and pop stars and stuff like that. There's this weird thing that people do where they build them up and they put them in this position that is ungodfully unique. Like if you look at someone like Taylor Swift, who does she go and relate to?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like no one. She's in the most unique position, like one of the most unique positions anyone's ever been in. And then they go, it's like they're making fun of her going on her private jet so often, which I will say I'm guessing she's probably like, yeah, the environment. And it's like, well, you're being a fucking, you're not being super environmentally conscious. But but outside of that, it's like people will make fun of her for how much she goes in her private jet. And you're like, yeah, dude, like, how is she supposed to travel? Go to a fucking airport?
Right.
And it's this weird thing that people do where they build these people up and then they expect them to be just like us. And it's like, no, they're not just like us. That's the whole fucking point.
Right.
So to go off what you guys trying to
Put your fucking finger down.
Here's that you're getting ahead of me. I'm about to big up you. You do this all the time. I big up you and you cut me off right before I compliment you. I'm about to compliment you. But to go off what your point is, like, I'm sitting here, like, what you just said about her, like write some songs about your ungodly unique situation. And I'm like, yes, because I don't know what the fuck's that like. That's fascinating. Please write like that. Talk about that shit.
Also,
but then if she does that, everyone's gonna go like, "Huh, fuck does she think she is? She's not relatable." And you're just like, and that's where I do give celebrities some sympathy when they go crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I would go fucking crazy because you get trapped into this unwinnable game. And that's where it's hard. It's you're almost like you might as well just stop writing music and go fucking off and just do concerts with your old shit.
but that's so what I'm saying is like, so you're right. And I guess that's what I guess that was the point I started to point at you about, was the fact that like I would like to, like, for her a little bit to kind of turn the mirror on her following and just be like, hey, you guys are getting a little out of hand. Like I'm just a person. Like
she could talk
that's
to them
that's
about
a way
that.
to humble yourself in a realistic way, to say like, look, and like, dude, I know none of those fucking fanatics are gonna get this far in the video before, like, if you tag Taylor Swift in this at all, they're not gonna get this far. But like the fact that like it would literally be to say like, I would be able to fly commercial if you motherfuckers didn't riot every time I tried to walk around somewhere. Like, you guys got to calm down. I'm just a human being, and I'm willing to give you more of myself if you guys just fucking treat me like a human being. And by her, she's not able to relate that anymore by just going like, I lived in an apartment and gave him my typewriter, and you can't do that anymore because you're not that fucking person anymore. You're yes, you are that person, but you've grown to a point where like even you can't imagine like you're dating a Super Bowl champion tight end in like
no, that's just
your
like
own
Romeo
island somewhere, and it's like this thing where you're like, nobody can relate to you, and you're still writing this aw shucks fucking bullshit, and it's like you have ways that you can be relatable.
That's
Saying, like,
why
I have success and I have all these other stuff, but I can't just live a human life because you motherfuckers won't treat me like a human. You treat me like this weird god, and you're all going to grow out of this. And you're like, and then, okay. So then obviously the reason
Can I say a quick theory on that?
Hold on. And
Can I say a quick theory on that?
And obviously she says what
I was going to say is I'm wondering if you're approaching that and people in general are approaching that idea with a false, like almost a false concept, where I think Taylor Swift in real life is probably nothing like her songs. I think she likes to be this elite and shit like that.
Yeah, I think that's and that's why
I'm saying is like she would never. What you were saying is how to fix this shit with your fans. She would never do that because she doesn't care about that shit.
Right, and it's
the same reason. Like she would back in the day, she would go crazy with like content strikes on people covering her songs. Like you were saying before, I think the whole like I want to get help to other musicians. That whole thing was fake. Like, if you really wanted to help other musicians, you wouldn't put your fucking album out on vinyl, because the second her or Adele puts their fucking album out on vinyl, the whole system gets backed up, and all these indie labels can't put vinyl out for fucking 6 months.
Yeah, I think that's the issue with, like, that's the difference between an artist and a celebrity. She's a celebrity. She's not an artist, because she is getting to the point where, like, you put this music out saying like, hey, if you guys could just treat me like a human being, all this other shit, you would alienate a lot of your audience. And obviously that's why you don't do that. But what's the worst thing that happens? You make $1 billion instead of $2 billion next year.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I don't know. Like, and not only that, but like, if I may, you wouldn't even necessarily lose that much, because I think there'd be people like us that would be like, damn, Taylor, spit. You know what I mean? Like, give us your diss track. Tell us, tell us fuck Kanye. Tell us fuck Drake. You know what I mean? Like, anybody that, like, now you're the biggest celebrity in the world. And yes, you, because look, if we have been shown anything, nobody can contain that, aw shucks, I'm just a simple guy, or I'm just a simple girl, or this is how it, like, I'm morally correct. Like, all that always fall. So like, if you are able to adapt, I think that's how you avoid the fall, is you grow with your audience. And if you go to the point where you're like, okay, we did that whole eras thing. I appreciate that, but now it's on to my next thing. My next thing is, here's how I live now, and here's why my life is sad now, and here's how, because that's the thing, it's not sad. We all know it's very isolating and it's very, but you're rich, you're eating lobster, but you're
Wait. I don't mean to cut you. I'm having trouble following you. What are you talking about with the fall?
what,
You said something about her having a fall.
like saying like you would say like the fact that like eventually like anybody that has like this height of like celebrity or moralistic, like you're this big of a star, nobody can ever stay at that height. Everybody has a fall. Everybody falls from this point. Like, so instead of you just trying to maintain this, why not have a steady ride down and have it be artistically fulfilling instead of like eventually just being like, oh, actually, we saw that video of you screaming at that waiter. And
Well, I guess the problem is there's no sign that a fall has started.
not
Like
yet. No.
That's what I'm saying. That's why she wouldn't do it, because we can sit here. It's the same thing I was saying when everyone was shitting on Kanye when he was just, fucking spitballing some decent ideas. But no, but like even before he went extra crazy, when he would just be like standard controversial,
Yeah.
people would say fuck Kanye, and they'd talk about like this is a bad thing for Kanye. He's not smart. He's gonna be out of here. And then you'd look and, oh yeah, his next album just went number one.
Yeah.
All of his albums just keep going number one and all this stuff. And that's the thing with Taylor Swift. It's like we can sit here and shit on her music. It's like she's still getting number one albums and doing all that stuff. So, and then mix that with the fact that I'm assuming it's the same thing with Beyonce. They just function as a corporation, and like the corporation is like, how do we get more out of this corporation? Well, it's by doing this fucking vapid, fake, relatable horse shit. Yeah. And I just think that's like, I would love it if what you're saying is the thing. Cause I honestly think you could get something super interesting out of Taylor Swift trying to almost like what Miley's kind of trying to do, but just on a lower level. Yeah. Do something like that. I just think that, this model's making money, so you're not gonna see that happen.
Yeah, that's just my like, as far as lyrically, like we all know that she can write pop songs. We all know that she can write fucking like pop country. We could all like whatever it is, and she can fill these arenas and shit. It's not that. I'm just saying, like, as far as like lyrically, like it's really like, come on, really? Like again, you say apartment, it's like, all right, your penthouse, you mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, at worst case scenario, it's definitely a penthouse. It's not an apartment. Do you know what I mean? You're wearing I'm just wearing a cardigan in my penthouse, and I just can't find love.
Here, dude, this is what made me realize it, where I'm just like, because I used to be the guy, like I used to not have a beef with Taylor Swift. I used to be like, guys, what the fuck you care about? Like, I remember I literally made the point a while ago where I was like, you're telling on yourself by talking about Taylor Swift this much, and listening to her music, you're telling on yourself that like you're a fucking idiot. But then it's like, I saw more shit, and I kind of dug in a little bit more, and I just started to realize, I was like, no, she's like a fucking dickhead. Like, you just listen to these lyrics. I remember because there's some of her songs that are kind of like, they're kind of catchy, and if you want to hear a bullshit pop song, you have a little fun with it. Yeah. So like, you have that one song, 22. Dude, just as like a Target commercial, it's a fun song. Just musically, if you think of it in like, what would be a fun song to walk around to Target and listen to? But like, dude, it's like little shit. It's why the fake relatable shit's so fucking obnoxious, because you're not even getting it right. Where she goes, it feels like a perfect night to dress up like hipsters and make fun of our exes. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we're gonna dress up in cardigans and make you're saying things you think normal people do.
Well, she's saying it like almost like, here's my plan. I'm gonna dress, because she's not saying dress like she's saying dress like a hipster. She's not saying dress. We're not two hipsters hanging out and we're gonna go make fun of our exes. We're saying we're gonna dress up like hipsters which is her uniform, to say, oh, I'm going to wear this carding, and just be like, my ex is like, she's telling you her plan. This is so diabolical. She's like,
Well, I guess
this
what
is how I do it. I dress up like a hipster and I tell you about my exes.
no,
You just pay me money, you fucking idiots.
That's so funny. That's actually so funny. But no, it's like it's literally like, no, you're just it's like no girls in their early 20s are like, oh yeah, we meet up and dress up like hipsters and bitch about our exes. And you're like, no, you just go to the bar and talk about what comes up. Like, what
Yeah.
are you fucking talking? Like, you're cosplaying because, like I said before, you've been famous since you were a teenager.
Yeah, and a
You
gallon of
don't,
milk is
you don't,
$350, right?
you don't have these relatable experiences. You're doing Mad Libs. You're saying things, and and obviously her music's not for us, and people could say to us what I was saying back in the day, but it's I think it would be different. Like, I don't feel like if we shitted on, I feel like we could make the same complaints about Ariana Grande and we wouldn't get the same type of pushback. It's the fact that if you say I wouldn't care if it wasn't just so treacherous to publicly speak about Taylor Swift. Because it's like your fan, like, I'm more mad at the fans than Taylor Swift. The fans, it's like, grow the fuck up, and like, you should all know better.
You guys,
you're
like MAGA people. You're like the people that are like, no, you can't do. It's like this thing where you're like,
you're QAnon.
Yeah. You're nuts. You seem fanatical. You're not fans anymore. You're fanatical about a situation where like, that's the thing, dude. No matter what, I don't give a shit. The bands that I love are the bands that I love. I don't think anybody should have to love them as much as I do. Yeah. I love them as much as I do, and I hope that other people do, but by no means is someone else's opinion, and including a critic, even like, if you think at any point that any person could harm her net worth besides her at this point, you're fucking crazy. Like, she is in control. She is all powerful, and like, you still continuing to simp over her because people do have, like, literally when I heard that people were like, you can't even just have a differing of review of her album just to say, seems kind of mid or kind of whatever. Like, it doesn't matter what what the prefix is. It doesn't matter your history with her or anything like that. It's just the fact that people are like going after, like, just because you don't like what I like. That's so crazy to me.
Here, this is a great, it actually correlates to we talked about this for a while. It actually correlates to something I wanted to bring up on this episode. Where the fuck is it? I had it ready to go. Where the fuck is it? Did I accidentally not bring it up? Damn it.
Clear it for AI Taylor nudes.
Oh, dude, that was a really funny tweet I saw where there was these fake nudes of Lauren Boebert and AOC. It was like they were awesome. It was so awesome how realistic they looked. But it was Lauren Boebert and AOC like, hey, we're gonna be done soon. You can look it up the whole rest of the day.
Let me just put it into Google so I don't forget.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, just keep going. I'm listening.
You were so fucking quick to be like, ooh, fake pictures of naked ladies.
Let's go. Yeah, what happened?
But Pat.
Deep fake.
there were
oh,
you gotta put it down. You gotta focus.
I'm right here with you, buddy. Right here.
But no, that was the thing with, like, I saw someone make the point where they're like, wait, you can deep fake 2 senators and no one's gonna do anything about it. But if, God forbid, you make low quality AI images of Taylor Swift, like they write up a fucking bill about it. But no, it's okay. Like this. So this is a story I wanted to. This kind of. So I was like, I'm trying to like bring up the point. Like, it's so insane to go to bat so hard for someone like Taylor Swift, who you will not, like, things like this will not hurt her. Bad reviews will not hurt her. And also, she genuinely probably doesn't give a fuck about you. Like, genuine. I'm not trying to be a fucking hater. Like, she genuinely doesn't give a fuck about you.
Or the reviewer, literally, like the person putting the review out, she's probably like, fuck
yeah. But then in actuality, there's things like this where, so this happened recently where there was a story where I believe that's the drummer. Is it the drummer? Yeah, the drummer for Knock Loose. Basically, there was a story of some crazy bitch was spreading this story around like Twitter and Reddit saying he gave her an STD and like got her pregnant and wouldn't call her back or raise the kid or something like that. And basically, long story short, he was like, "This is bullshit. I was not, she said she met me at a show. I was not on tour during this month. And also, here's my test results to show I don't have an STD. I did think it was funny. There was this thing right here. Your liver enzymes were slightly elevated. Just having that little tidbit. But like a thing like this, Knock Loose, they're pretty big now, but like something like this could fuck the band's trajectory up. Like smaller things have fucked up bigger bands. So it's like, yeah, go to bat for Knock Loose because bullshit like this could really fucking hurt them. But someone like fucking Taylor Swift doesn't give a fuck about you. Your cries will not, like, calm the fuck down.
What do you think the line is for them? What do you think they stop defending her on? Like, what if she has like terabytes of child porn on her computers and they're like, no.
They'd have to see every fucking video.
They're like, dude, most of those kids were 17 and the age of consent. And hold on. No, look, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder, like, if she was on like To Catch a Predator, like, would they still be like, well, like, don't talk about Taylor? That, like, what's the line that they don't defend her anymore?
I mean, R. Kelly. Here's the thing. It's all about.
That's a good point.
Here's the thing with canceling. A lot of people don't realize is a lot of it really has to do with if they're generally liked or not. Like, who are we fucking talking about? Oh, we were talking about earlier about the whole Drake thing. Yeah. That's why. While there are legitimate complaints about Kendrick, and there was that, that sort of broader thing of this just goes against it feels like it goes against his general character. So in my opinion, it just feels off and stuff like that. But generally, among the people who want to talk about this shit on Twitter, it's been predetermined that they're like, fuck Drake. So it kind of doesn't matter that much what Kendrick says. They're still going to go fuck Drake. And it's a similar thing with stuff like this. And a lot of times too, a big thing about music, we all know this, is it's like or I shouldn't say we all know this, but because I always view music as sort of like the music I like becomes like the soundtrack to my day, or the soundtrack to like my, not to sound like a fucking gay wad, but the soundtrack to my life and my experience. But like that's sort of like, that's the music I get drawn more so to, that pairs up with me and who I am a lot more succinctly and fluidly and shit like that. And that's what's happening with this Taylor Swift shit. That's why it was so hard for a lot of people to accept the R. Kelly shit, because they're not talking about Robert. They're talking about the guy who wrote the songs that were so vital to them when they were in high school and shit like that. And that's how they create this relationship in their heads. They're doing it with Taylor Swift. It's not about Taylor. It's about these songs that, got me through my hard 6th grade years and shit like that, when I was fucking fat and all this other shit. And basically what you're doing, that girl who was kind of fat and awkward in middle school and listened to a bunch of Taylor Swift, now she's a psychopathic high schooler. When you shit on Taylor Swift, you're basically going, you were a dumb fat bitch in middle school. That's what she hears. And that's what, that's what, and they also hear like, you're a piece of shit, because their identity's so locked into Taylor Swift.
Yeah. It's just really funny because I know I have been like that with stuff before, but I can't think of anything that I would be like that for now. You know what I mean? Like that I would be that determined up. Like I'll debate pretty much anything, but like for anything, like to go out of my way to be like, no, like to be the blind allegiance, I guess.
No, I remember in high school, I would spend a lot of time autistically arguing about Green Day with people on message boards. But if someone was like, yo, we found that guy who disagreed with you, we found his parents' house, you want to post this? I'd be like, no, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I just it's one of those things that I don't get that part of it, but that's part of like getting older, like in different generations in general. Like that's you don't have that. But like again, like for a thing that we said we weren't really going to talk about, we end up talking about it for a while. But I think it's just something important to share. Like don't get too caught up in anything, whether it be a rap beef, Taylor Swift, fucking her new album, her old albums, whatever it is. Like, stop just blindly defending people and just support them. Just support them. Like
Yeah.
that's the important thing. You don't have to like have the mob like at mentality. You can just show up. Just be fans. Like you don't need to. I don't know.
Yeah, I just
I don't think she's reading the comments. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's the big thing. It's like, dude, just don't. It's crazy to like, potentially harm someone for someone who doesn't like care if you live or die.
By the way, the more you comment and the more you share and keep these unpopular, in your words, opinions alive, the more interactions, the more you keep it up in the algorithm. So the more likely she is to see it. So if you
And
really need to
honestly,
defend Taylor, then shut up.
besides sexual assault, shitting on Taylor Swift gets us the most traction. So don't encourage us.
Mhm. Yeah, if she's gonna keep putting stuff out that sucks, we're gonna keep talking about how much it fucking sucks.
Yeah, take
And
that.
how
You
much
stupid.
you fucking suck for liking it, you fucking suckers.
You know what always annoyed me though?
What?
Is like when Travis Kelce started dating Taylor Swift. Because I think before he was dating Taylor Swift, he was dating a fine ass Ebony Queen.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people would be like, because I think Taylor Swift is like cute, but if you just kind of like, if you were at fucking brunch and she
Yeah.
walked in and she was just a normal chick, I don't know if most people would go like, oh, and I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just trying to sort of set up the what?
Oh, he's a cute, charming guy. If he shot a shot with Megan the Stallion, you don't think she's gonna call him back? You know what I'm saying? Like you have
No, that's how. Yeah, no, that's not the point I'm making. I want him to. I want him to bust his fucking half retarded load in my queen Megan.
Oh,
Can you imagine, dude?
oh,
Oh, that was the other story.
such talented babies.
Actually, wait, yeah, because I want to wrap it up in a second.
Taylor, I smell a custody battle. If you have a child, there's going to be a separation. There's going to be a separation. It's Taylor Swift, for fuck's sake.
Wait, I want to.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm talking about hypothetical drama between a love triangle between Kelsey, the Stallion, and Swift. I think there is a likelihood that if you get Taylor Swift pregnant, she will go crazy and try to take custody of that child. But if it's Megan Thee Stallion, I think at least worst case scenario, shared custody, and that child is super duper talented because it has two talented parents instead of just one. Boom.
But you were reminding me of my point where I was like, yeah, we're all like, yeah, like everyone agrees Taylor Swift, like, yeah, she's cute, but like, whatever. I don't know. She's not like, you're not going like, I'm gonna, you're not turning into a cartoon wolf or anything. But it's like, people, I don't know. People are so, I don't know what the fucking word is, but people are just so fucking retarded about certain shit that is just obvious, where you just go like
oblivious.
No, it's not oblivious, but it's just this idea that like anyone, you're doing anything.
Yeah.
And then you hit it off with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like, and even in the most shitty way of going, like the shittiest way to date Taylor Swift is to go like, I don't even think she's fucking hot, but it's fucking Taylor Swift. I'll date her for a little bit to see what happens. That's like the shittiest version of it. And everyone would do that at least. So why are we even having a conversation about why is he dating her?
Yeah.
Because it's fucking Taylor Swift. Why wouldn't everyone would at least date her for a fucking month.
And honestly, she's probably very charming. Like she's probably
nice to hang out with.
Yeah, she's probably a nice. I don't think she's a bad person. I'm just saying what I think it is like it's like you said, she's not. And again, to Travis Kelce is an attractive fella. He's an athlete for fuck's sake, so he's in shape. He's also the kind of guy that's got a little bit of charisma. He's out there acting it up, and
he's the most perfectly retarded guy ever. Did you see a video of him chugging beer at?
he's not too much Gronk. You know what I mean? Like Gronk is too much. Gronk is like, yes, he's an Adonis.
Gronk wants to
Adonis
be
wise, talking to him, he's such a fucking idiot.
the
Like,
way Gronk wants to be a celebrity too is annoying. The Kelsey brothers just seem like they want to kind of be there and have fun.
Right. So I think that's the thing. And like you said, Taylor Swift is not an unattractive. She's not unattractive by any means, but she's not like, holy shit, gorgeous.
Whoa.
Yeah, she's not like,
yeah, you're never doing that.
But she is somebody that definitely, probably the more you get to know her, the more you get attracted to her. But like off the bat, she's just got a pretty smile or some nice eyes or something like that. But I just feel like you were saying, like the before, if you have the possibility, again, like we were saying with like Megan Thee Stallion, you shoot that shot first, because but if Taylor Swift asks first, come on, look at Pete Davidson, for fuck's sake. Look at the Kardashian effect, right? This guy's out there, he's dating like, you see, once you get that tier, you're in that tier. So with Taylor Swift, even if you do go down, what do you go down to? What? Fucking Ariana Grande, maybe, possibly. What do you go down to?
Yeah, you gotta think about you gotta play the long game with these bitches.
Right. So it is crazy. Yeah, you're right. I don't think it, I guess I should specify, if your preference is the Ebony Queens, go for Beyonce. That would have been a fucking blockbuster.
Yeah.
Although maybe she's a little, well, no, they're about the same age, right?
Yeah, but it's more personality wise. I'd go for Megan Thee Stallion in a heartbeat over Beyonce.
Yeah, I don't know Beyonce personally, but
well, no, because Beyonce just seems like I don't know. She has like rich person energy, and because like, she changes her personality every album. Like, she's a corporation the same way.
Her country album's not it's a country album. It's as good as a Taylor Swift country album. I'll say that much.
I don't know. I don't know. Beyonce's album was fine. I listened to some of it. It was fine.
I like how reserved you are with your judgment. You're like, I disagree.
Well, no.
Hold on. I know.
Well, no, because Beyonce's my whole thing with Beyonce is never about the music itself. It's everything around it. Because like I said before, it's like she's a corporation. So it's like she makes decisions like a corporation would. Like what'll hit what album should we do this quarter to hit our yearly goals?
Yeah, we got to get the bottom line. What's going to hit it? Something about it not being Texas.
Because if you saw like a lot of her albums, it was like really popular to be super pro women. So she made like a feminist album. And then, it was more, doing more black centric stuff was more. So her one album, she leaned into that a little bit more. And now the logical money making decision is, oh, wouldn't it be crazy if Beyonce wrote a country album? And I was listening to it. It's like, I will say I got reminded of how good her voice is.
Yeah.
Her voice is amazing. But I was listening to it. It's just, it seems all over the place. And
I also preferred Gucci Mane's Lemonade over hers.
I agree. I think we all did.
Are you just kind of shocked when you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know. Manny probably told you that too.
Nope. Kirk.
That's so funny.
He's another fellow, friend of mine.
Nah, Megan Thee Stallion's perfect.
Wait a minute. Are you pulling up sexy pictures that I'm not allowed to? Fuck that. That's not fair.
No. Well, any picture of her. No, you're pulling up fake news.
Where she was pitching. She did throw out the first pitch in that Houston or whatever.
Yeah, it was perfect, Pat. You don't think I watched that 97 times? It was
you can't stop me from picturing it in my mind, you motherfucker.
No. This story is a little bit old, but since we're on the topic of how hard Megan Thee Stallion makes you, I really wanted to show you this. Yeah, okay, here. I just want you to read it.
Okay. All right.
Can you read that for me?
Megan Thee Stallion is being sued by her former cameraman for allegedly forcing him to watch her have sex in a moving car. He claims Megan told him to never speak about the incident. Quote, don't ever discuss what you saw, end quote. God, and she looks fucking perfect in that picture. God damn it. Like, okay, so the only way that I can support this gentleman in his argument is the fact that, like, he is the cameraman. He was forced to watch. Does he have the footage?
Oh, you don't want to shit on him till you know if he has the footage or not. That's
Right,
smart.
because
That's smart,
also,
Pat. You're playing fucking chess. I'm playing checkers.
when you bring her into this, I will fucking knight myself, my friend, because I am hard as a rook. I,
All right.
I like
You're
that
done.
one.
No,
I
you're
got myself
done.
on that one. No. If I can, please.
No, dude, there's literally an option. I could ban you from the studio. Oh, dude, that's so tempting.
Hard as a rock.
I didn't realize there was that option. It literally says ban from studio.
That I'm thinking that might be the clip this week. No, I think there's a I think also the other way I could be identified with this gentleman is if I was just forced to watch, not allowed to film, and not allowed to join in, because my God,
Now you're being greedy. You didn't even know watching was ever on the table, and now you're like, I'd like to join.
well, I mean,
May I have
I'm your cameraman. If I'm not allowed to film and you're not letting me join in, what the fuck am I here for? I just gotta watch. I'm still taking my phone out. You know
Where's
what I mean?
my slice of pussy, miss?
Pardon me, Miss the Stallion, but you paid me to be here to work, and I'm here to do some work.
It's just so funny to me where it's like,
You
yes,
want to talk about privileged? This motherfucker. Oh, I only got to watch me.
it just like, this is where we need to be elite haters and not just do the knee jerk reaction of like, oh, you're fucking gay. You wouldn't want,
Yeah,
but like, let's be real for a second. Like, what are we talking about?
right.
You're saying you were in a car. Realistically, it was probably a tight squeeze.
Maybe he's
And
driving.
if not a tight squeeze, you got a good view.
Yeah.
And Megan Thee Stallion decides to
Have sex.
I believe it was with a girl.
Oh my God.
Let me double check actually.
Well, maybe he was driving and he felt like his life was at risk. Maybe that's I can understand that. If I'm driving and then Megan Thee Stallion and a young lady friend of hers are fucking lesing it up behind you. Yeah, I could understand being like,
I'll double check. I think she was lesing out.
I'm gonna sue the fuck out of you because I felt like you were trying to kill me.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. Honestly, if I'm who's she dating? Offset? Which one was she dating? Wait.
Did you say which one was she dating?
Yeah, of the Migos.
Of the Migo. Okay. I was like,
rap.
damn, Andy. What the
fuck? Dude, you think I've been fucking podcasting with two black dudes for this long and I don't know how to act?
Jesus.
I don't know. Yeah, what do you think? I'm a fucking amateur? God damn it, Pat. Give me some. No, who is it? Oh no, yeah, it was Offset. Yeah, because
sure.
No, that's Cardi B. She's not dating the Migos. Cardi B is. That's right. Okay, no, that's right. She was dating Tory Lane, and he shot her in the foot.
Ah, what? He shot Megan Thee Stallion?
Yeah, he shot her in the foot. We don't like Tory
asshole.
Lane. Canadian piece of shit.
Another fucking Canadian.
But no, I get it. Whoever, if Canadian the Stallion, if Megan the Stallion,
Megan the Canadian,
Megan the Canuck,
yeah.
If Megan the dude, I'm done.
I correct myself. That's the clip.
I've podcasted way too much today.
You need to eat some food, buddy.
Oh my God, do I? If Megan Thee Stallion was just fucking a dude in the car with me,
yeah,
I'd be like, all right. I mean, great tits,
but
I'd be like, great tits, but can we stop? This is weird. I get that, but I double checked the article and it says a former cameraman for Megan Thee Stallion who alleges that he was trapped. You fucking pussy. Trapped inside a moving vehicle with the hip hop star in a foreign country while she had sex with a woman. And you're like,
wait,
bro, I get. I'm not trying to just be like the fucking dumb dude, but what are we complaining about, man?
Here's like honestly, if I was a judge, like seriously, and like it would get like again, like you're saying, we're not doing this as a joke. If I was the judge in this case and you brought this to my thing and you read this, I'd go like, and what are you claiming? Kidnapping?
What
No, not
did
kidnapping.
she?
You were just forced to watch two beautiful women have sex. You were trapped. Even as a married man, I would come home and explain to my wife what happened and how amazing it was. But like, obviously, because you're just watching, but also like, I couldn't get out of there. I couldn't get out of there, and they were just having sex. And she'd go, "Oh, you should report that." And I'd be like, "Yeah," to like my fucking dream diary. That's
Dude,
like,
how great would that be, by the way, as a married dude, where it's like you have also a complete out. You're like, it was a moving car. I couldn't get out.
I was trapped. All the doors were locked. It was a moving car. I could not move, and they just started fucking each other, and they wouldn't let me join. So it's like the perfect. You can explain all of this to your wife, every bit of it, and you can just say like, and if she goes like, "You got to quit," I'd be like, "You're right. I got to quit." But like, and then on a high note, why would you ever criticize or bring this up ever again? I guess is that the thing. So he's suing her for that. Is that correct? Or he's just bringing up I honestly I blacked out like
I don't know.
started
Thinking about it.
Oh my God.
I don't know. He also, I mean, I'll give him benefit of the doubt. He might be a gay dude, but even then I feel like he'd just be in the corner like,
Oh, that's how that works.
party time. Party time. I'm gay. I don't care about this.
Yeah.
I it's all good. I stole my personality from you guys anyway, black women. And I don't know. That's just it. I didn't want to just be a typical, like, you know how whenever you see a hot teacher bang a student, and you're just like, are you looking up at Lauren Boebert?
No, Megan the Stallion now.
No, because I know a lot of times when like they bring up a hot teacher bangs a hot female teacher bangs a student, you
forget
don't
about the pedophilia, and you're like, well, it wasn't when I was.
You're like, it's not pedophilia when it's awesome.
Blah,
But
blah,
like,
blah.
and I get it too, because I think sometimes older women can sort of manipulate younger kids and provide them a lot of confusion. It could like fuck them up there. But there is always that other part of me where I'm like, I remember in 7th grade, and I remember my English teacher with huge knockers, and I'm just like, I don't see a scenario where
this is awesome.
I just don't see a scenario where she sucks my little 7th grade dick and I'm mad about it. I just don't see it, man. I remember how I was in 7th grade. I would have loved it.
But even now, as it, like, I'm assuming he's an adult. He's a consent, he's working for her.
Yeah, he's a full-grown gay adult.
So if that's the situation, that's the situation. It has to be, because like it like, is the plaintiff pleading gay? Because like that's the situation where I'd be sitting here going like,
Your Honor, my plaintiff is my client is pleading gay.
He's gay as shit, and he hated every second of that. Honestly, vaginas disgust him.
Your Honor, he's gay as shit, and he's a bitch.
Because like that's a scenario where you're like, I understand that, like, when we're an adult, like, I'm
sorry, it's so funny to plead gay. Your Honor, I suck cock.
Yeah, Your Honor, my account, or what is it? What are they called?
My client here blows men.
My client here is gay as fuck, and and that's how he pleads. Like, and they're like, and that's when like the whole courtroom goes, oh, and like,
that actually,
I'd like to call for a recess. We were not aware of his gayness, and
we're not aware of him being gay.
Like a 30-minute recess so we can collect our notes.
Dude, that actually literally happened somewhat. I was doing a show the other night, and there's just one Jersey comic, and she's a lesbian, and she's doing her joke, and it was like, I'm not shitting on her. She rules. We're having a good old chat. She rules. But like, you could see it on her, like the way she dresses and shit. You know what I mean? You could just see it. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell them.
Yeah, we just say, I'm a lesbian, then nobody's gonna go.
But no, she was talking about. She kept saying my partner, because she has a fiance. she was my partner, and then she said, or she might have, I can't remember if she said girlfriend or wife, because I know she didn't say fiance. She said a specific like female identifying term.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was like, yeah, my girlfriend. And dude, I'm not kidding. I could hear them audibly realize she was a lesbian. And you heard a few people involuntarily start clapping. I'm like, you fucking losers. You stupid fucking idiots. Oh, a lesbian.
I'm an ally. I'm an ally. I'm an ally. I'm an ally.
Would you like to eat my wife's pussy? Please. It would be our honor. Please eat my wife's pussy.
But it is so interesting to me to know that that apparently some people's trauma is like how many other people's literal fantasy. Like you and I as two married men that are like, I'm Megan Thee Stallion's now I can't say it, Megan Thee Stallion's photographer, I'm just her camera guy or whatever, and you're going out on tour and you're just watching her on stage and you're the guy that's responsible for watching her the whole time. That's like putting a fucking lens on her, making sure she's in focus, getting the sexy pictures and all the other shit for her socials and all this other shit, right? And then you're like, you get in the limo and she's just like, you're not going anywhere, you scumbag, you're just gonna watch. And she just starts fucking lesing out with this chick feet from you. Not even, maybe, like I'm considering still a limousine, but it could have been, like you said, it's a car. But I'm doubting it's like a fucking Mazda or something. You know what I mean? Like
probably like a good size SUV.
Enough to where like they're not on you, but they're definitely bumping into you a couple times where you're like, and to be like, I'm stuck here, to just be like, I don't know, man.
Well, no, dude.
It's awesome. And it's so it's not the same as the other one because there is an actual crime. I guess there's an actual crime here of like, again,
gay,
entrapment. But yes, and also being gay. Well, that's
no. Being gay is not a crime. I should have said being a pussy. Please don't get me. Please don't get me for my what's the word? Digressions. I'm a bad boy. I'm sorry, gays.
Indiscretions. But no,
I'm sorry, gays. I'm bad.
There's an issue here that like where I'm like, there's an
issue. I'm fucking hard thinking about it.
Aside from kidnapping, this is just a literal fantasy of so many people that is like, I don't know, man. This doesn't feel the same way as like a middle schooler getting seduced by big titties. This feels like an adult man getting a dream scenario.
Seems like an adult watching other
literally in his lap, and you going like, I didn't like it. Like, even if you didn't like that, just the fact of like how many of your friends respect you're going to lose. And this is not the same. This is not the same as any other sexual assault. I'm sorry. It's not the same. If I was forced to watch two people have sex in front of me, I would, there's no point where I report it. I'd just go thumbs up or thumbs down to them and go like, I didn't really love this experience. I would give this 0 stars.
I would just Yelp it.
That's it. And like, or I tell like my friends, like, dude, I saw these two fucking guys. They just started forcing me to watch them have sex. I hated it. Like, they'd be like, are you going to sue? No. Why would I sue? They were just fucking. They weren't trying to fuck me. You know what I mean? Like they weren't forcing themselves on me. I just got to
sue. I had a hilarious evening.
I got a free show. What the fuck?
Watch a bunch of dudes fuck. You don't want to watch that, do you? I do.
But one of the two people happens to be Megan Thee Stallion, and the other one happens to be, and again, I'm assuming not an uggo woman, and you're just gonna go like, I need to be compensated. Like, you have been overly compensated, sir.
I need a lawyer.
Yeah, I would pay for Megan Thee Stallion's legal fees just so I could just prove that, just bury this guy.
Hell yeah. All right, man. This has been a good episode. We all what?
You spoiled brat.
The
lesbian sex I was forced to view was not to my liking.
The thing everyone wishes they could see is happening right in front of you.
And being a cameraman and not filming it.
Your Honor, my client's gay as fuck.
And may I say, also, I think because he didn't film it, would also like to claim retardation as well, please.
He would like to plead insanity.
Extremely insane. This is the first case of extreme insanity that we'd like to plead, please.
All right, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
I'm so horny.
I got 2 Google searches I gotta get in depth.
Oh man, yeah, I gotta go deep into her Instagram now.
By the way, the AI, the pictures that you said were nudes, right? You said?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You didn't find them?
Not yet.
Okay.
If you want to send me a link,
If I find them, I'll send them to you.
Yeah.
The only problem was they had actually, I'm not talking about this. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week. We love you all. Have a good one. Be about a peace.
Goodbye. Farts.